Many of the phones we use today are built to have a lifespan of only 1 to 2 years before they're replaced by a new and better model. As it stands, the new phones released every year have very limited customizability. Sure, you can use an Instagram filter or even attach a clip-on lens to improve a picture you've captured, but in general, you're still stuck with the camera that came with your phone. Unless you buy an entirely new phone. But what if you could choose a camera for your phone instead? What if you could mix and match hardware just like you would for apps? Google's Advanced Technology and Projects group is hard at work devising a new phone that could potentially be a game changer in the smartphone industry. Introducing Aura, a phone built to last. Aura is a revolutionary new phone which consists of a selection of separate, user-selected modules tied together by an endoskeleton. The modules at the back of the endo come in 3 different sizes: a 2x2 module such as this battery and app processor, a 2x1 module such as this camera and speaker, and a 1x1 module such as this antenna. At the front of the endo is 2 slots, one for the display module and one for the receiver module. One could imagine that in the future there would be a slot for a selfie camera as well. Now, there's a lot of highly sophisticated engineering behind the creation of a modular phone, but for now I'll be focusing on 2 technical aspects. 1, how modules are attached to the endoskeleton, and 2, how data is transferred from the endoskeleton to the module and vice versa. First, we'll look at how modules are attached to the endoskeleton. The endo of the Spiral 2 prototype has an electropermanent magnet, or EPM, on each module slot. An EPM is a cross between an electromagnet and a permanent magnet. Essentially, a brief pulse of current turns the EPM on or off, so the module is either locked in place or unlocked and ready to remove. An EPM consists of an electromagnet, the solenoid you can see wound around this area, from which current is pulsed to generate a magnetic field, and a permanent magnet made of a strong magnet such as neodymium iron boron and a weaker magnet such as alnico. Alnico has a magnetization that can be easily changed by applying an external magnetic field, whereas neodymium iron boron does not. You can see that in the on and off state, the magnetic field of the neodymium magnet retains the same direction, whereas the magnetic field of the alnico magnet is flipped between states. Because of this, the net magnetic flux goes out into the module in the on state, but is confined within the endo in the off state, allowing the user to lock or unlock the module. Second, let's take a look at how data is transferred from the endo to the module and vice versa. Data transfer between the endo and the module takes place within 2 interface blocks separated by a small air gap. Contactless data transfer occurs using a principle known as inductive coupling, which many of you may be familiar with as an application of Faraday's law. Essentially, loops within the signal transmitter are pulsed with a time-varying current, thus generating a changing magnetic flux within the air gap and inducing a voltage in the receiving coils. In this pulse diagram, the signal passes through a high-frequency filter and is split into 2 pulses, one on the rising end and one on the falling end of the signal. The pulse is registered as a 1 if it exceeds this upper hysteresis threshold, and is registered as a 0 if it falls below this lower hysteresis threshold. In this way, the data pattern is transmitted from the endo to the module or from the module to the endo. Although I haven't found a patent directly relating to Aura, I have found this patent by Infineon Technologies on contactless communication via different interfaces. The process of contactless communication described in this patent is somewhat similar to the process of contactless data transfer that occurs between the endo and the module.